What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 153. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011, usually every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Join the chat, join in the conversation over there if you'd like to, but if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Drops over on YouTube and podcast services. The very next week is broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, remember, any way you guys can support the show, the podcast, whether it's a like, a comment, a review, a share, whatever it is, big or small, it does help the show out in a big way. So whatever you can do to help us out, we would love you for it. Topic number one today, we're going to be talking about Extra Life. Extra Life happened this past weekend, at least for us. And we had a phenomenal year. This seems to be a topic that we do every year, post Extra Life, just kind of a little bit of a rehash or a look back on the event. Oh, geez, hi, Moose. The event, how I thought it went, how we could improve things, if we want to nitpick, which, this year specifically, I guess you could really call it a nitpick because it was a very successful year. If we want to nitpick on how we could improve things, stuff like that, just a fun open conversation, because while these events are once again very successful and there's nothing to complain about or anything in that regard, it is a smart move, or it's a good thing to do and reflect and look back and see how you can improve things. So I just want that to be clear. I am not in any way, shape, or form being like, oh, this was a bad year and this didn't happen this way. No, I just want to know what I can do better down the line, and for future events to maybe make it more of a success. Now, once again, this year, very successful. We broke our fundraising record. So previously our record was just shy of $1,100. So that was our goal this year, was to attempt to break that record. Excuse me, Moose. You need to leave. So that was our goal. And we ended up doing that and some, as we got to raise, with your guys' help, $1,450 for the Extra Life charity, which is fantastic. Our goal, if we broke our record, was to do a second charity stream. And you're probably going to be like, well, Bret, why would you be doing a second charity stream? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's always good to help the kids and stuff like that. But what would be the benefit of that? Well, we put 1,100 as our goal. We want to just break the record there. I put a stretch goal for let's see if we can raise $2,000. And what's going to happen with the second stream is it's going to be a combined amount for what we had raised this past weekend, and in addition to the follow-up stream to try and get to that 2,000. So if you didn't watch, you're probably like, okay, well, what are we trying to aim or get to with the 2,000 total raised? Good question, viewer. Where were you Saturday? No, I'm just kidding. Good question. Our objective, goal, whatever you want to call it, milestone for reaching the 2,000 is to shave my head. So I'm going to be sporting a Mr. Clean look if we raise 2,000 between the two events. So yeah, fun stuff. It seems like I have found your kryptonite, and my hair is the big motivator. Couldn't really think of milestones this year, as planning did not go super well on my behalf. And this year was kind of not thrown together, but it was definitely less prepared, I guess, than compared to previous years. So I didn't know what to put for a big milestone. So I decided that the hair was good, because it seems like that gets people going, that gets people talking. The previous year where we'd done it, where we're just cutting it short, we reached our goal, I believe, in the first 5 hours, which was insane. So I wanted to use that again. So yes, our follow-up stream that we have gotten is going to be officially happening on Saturday, December 10th. So if you're listening to this as it releases day of, it is not tomorrow, but it is 1 week from tomorrow. It is not going to be another 24 hours. It is going to be a 12-hour stream. Lots of details still need to be planned as of what we're playing, and are there going to be any milestones there, which probably not, as the big one will just be my hair. But yeah, the objective with that stream during those 12 hours will be to raise another $550 for Extra Life, and if we reach that, then the hair will go bye-bye. So yeah, we'll have some fun on that day, and we'll see if we can spark the magic again. So, how did this year's Extra Life go? Well, I think it went fantastic. Obviously, numerically, and how we raised money, or how much money we raised, was great. How did it feel not going into this with as much prep as previous years? Honestly, kind of very scary, at least at the very beginning. I had talked to a couple different people, my parents' lady, Jeff, about, like, I really wanted to start planning this early to try and just, work out all the kinks or have the best game plan that I could. So I was like, all right, August time, I'm going to start planning. Well, unfortunately, with just work and that being our busy season, that did not happen, along with some other stresses, as I've talked on the past podcast, so you can go check that out. So my focus wasn't really there, understandably so. So this one, no offense, kind of snuck up on me of like, oh shit, it's already November, it's a few weeks away, we need to make things happen. So I was going into it very simple mindset. Keep it simple, stupid. Just do the charity. Just do one big goal and milestone and just have fun, and, whatever is raised is raised. It's no big deal. And then, like anything, like any idea, it evolves and it grew into something bigger than anticipated. So one thing that we did do that was kind of fun is we did giveaways for sticker packages. So some stickers of, whoopsie, wrong camera. His eyes are keyed out. Some stickers of some of our Twitch emotes that I thought people would like. So we did about 8 to 10 of those. And we still have some extra ones. So maybe we could do some more giveaways there. But I thought that was a fun idea. It seemed like people really enjoyed those raffles. So we had those, and we ended up giving away 2 games. So we gave away a copy of God of War Ragnarok, and we gave away a copy of Pokemon Scarlet to the winners there. So we had some fun with some giveaways. These are the first giveaways we've done other than merch, like t-shirts and stuff like that. So that was fun to do. And have the opportunity to, and especially with the stickers, I've seen some other streamers do these with these emotes, with their emotes rather. So I just thought it was fun. Like I said, I've seen other people do it, but this still felt unique enough that I don't know. I don't think anybody was expecting me to hand out stickers of the emotes. So yeah, we got good feedback from it. Maybe we'll do some more in the future, maybe some variations. We'll see. But we were lucky enough to have the opportunity to do those. And then those are really the only, I guess, incentives. We didn't do, and compared to previous years, we didn't do milestones for wheel spins, or when we reach X amount, we're going to do this, besides the secondary charity stream and the shaving of the head. I will say, in comparison, that was very much less of a stressful thing. Contemplating really okay, what's going to be 250? What's going to be 350? What's going to be 500? What in scale and where do these things fit that kind of makes sense? So I do think in in terms of planning, that was a good move, or that was a nice thing that not to think about, not to worry about or stress about, like, oh, I got to make sure I'm doing all these wheel spins and keeping up to date. We really only had to keep up with the sticker giveaways. I think there was one I missed, so we doubled up on one of them, which was fine. That's not the end of the world. But we were able to stay organized. Everybody's entries got in. As people were donating, we had a good system. And everything in terms of giveaways and milestones, I thought flowed very well and very nicely. So, cool, good positive there, considering not a lot of planning going into it. Game schedule, I think, worked out decently well. There were some things that probably could improve there. So we played a wide variety of games, as we always do. And this was our first year in 2 years, or 3 years rather. Hi, Moose. Hi. Do you want to be on stream again? No, don't go under the desk. That is not where I need you. Oh, come here. Be on podcast. Hi, I'm Moose. I'm a cat. Anyways. So in terms of games, we played a lot of different stuff, as we do. And this was the first year we had friends over, and it was a blast having everybody over involved. Definitely a lot louder than previous years, I would say, at least in certain segments. But yeah, we started with Mario Party, then we went into Gartic Phone, which unfortunately shit the bed. Then we went into Super Blood Hockey, which was a blast. Then Codenames, Jackbox Party 9, along with some others. Among Us with some friends that were out of state who couldn't make it in person. Followed by Elden Ring, then Played Up, then WWE 2KGM mode with Papa Griff. Overwatch 2, and then concluded with Fortnite with myself and Lady. All the segments went off really, really well besides Gartic Phone. I'm not sure if it was just because we're all on the same internet or whatever, and unfortunately the game browser or the web browser was not able to handle that. On the opposite side of the thing, Codenames handled it very well. I'm glad that was working in the setup of having the display, at least for the people in the room as well as chat, to not have the answers up there so they could kind of play along. That worked very well and ran very smoothly. The very tiny bit of Gartic Phone that we did get working was fun. I'd like to try and implement that into maybe the follow-up stream and maybe have people just play via their own web connection. Maybe it will run better there, because that's a game, when I watch, very entertaining, regardless of people's art, talent, and skill. Just seeing the insanity that does come up, whether it's the prompts obviously they were given or how they manipulate it. Just a good time overall. So unfortunately that didn't work, but other than that, everything ran fine. Everything went smoothly. Setup was good. One very weird thing, so the day prior we were able to set up, and that was a huge benefit. Off the bat, we really oh boy, we really tested everything. And it went very, very well. We even set up the dimensions for the displays on stream for the different captures and whatnot. And for some reason, I don't know why, but the Gartic Phone and the Codenames through the web browser, those filters and crops didn't maintain when going to the live stream on day of, so we did have to readjust those. Not the end of the world, just one of those things where little unfortunate. But as for tech issues, for that to be really our only one, we had one delay of the webcam, which was a very easy fix of resetting it. Compared to previous years where the Extra Life little helper's not working, or donations aren't popping up, or audio is totally fucked up for some reason, to just have this as the capture device cropping just needed to be adjusted again was chef's kiss, beautiful, fantastic. So very happy about that. So all the games ran very smoothly, as we got into the wee hours, when I was kind of flying solo, so post Among Us, up until Papa Griff helped out towards the end, I will admit was a little bit rough. So we had Elden Ring and Played Up were the big two. I think probably it was because, well, it's late, Brett. Duh, you're gonna be tired. I think it was a mixture of that and the kind of energy output or like presentation, I guess, that I kind of put forward during those segments. So during Elden Ring, the whole concept was punishment Elden Ring. Okay, I have some boss fights lined up. Every time I die, I'm going to do a punishment. So either an exercise, Bean Boozled Jelly Bean, or a sour candy. Ended up doing mainly exercises, so I was getting yacked, as you do. And exercises went very well, but obviously those take some energy. I had some people in chat, very kind of them to be up obviously that late and hanging out. They were doing great, but they were all having a conversation about like some games. I was not involved in that conversation. Not like they were purposely leaving me out, but I had just no input. So I'm doing the boss fights and I'm dying to no one's surprise. And just an observation, I wasn't really talking all that much. And guess what? You're on stream. You kind of have to do that. That's what makes it entertaining. And it kind of felt the same with Played Up. While Played Up was a great game, and we bounced back for a little bit with like, oh, okay, I'm going to eat something. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so much energetic now. And then literally after I stopped eating 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, nope, back to grogginess. I think it may have been those choice of games and personally my own mess up of the presentation aspect. I should have been more quote unquote on that may have fought against me in terms of energy levels. Now, obviously, I don't want to be over the top because then you get tired way more quicker, but I should have been better of like, just like even just regular stream communicating, even if it's just talking to myself, doing something. So just a little observation there. I think something that may have benefited that was maybe a choice of different games there. I know Elden Ring's been all the jazz this year, obviously a Game of the Year contender. So I thought people would be intrigued with me, quote unquote, torturing myself with this. And then Played Up, while a great game, I don't think fit that time slot necessarily. Like, I should have done something that was a little bit more, I guess, engaging or fast-paced. While Played Up is great in the moments where it's fast-paced, the in-betweens and the strategery or the strategic aspect of that game, not the best for a 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. block. Now, when Papa Griff did come back at 6 a.m., immensely, internally, I already felt 100 times better. Just because I knew I had someone else there to communicate with. Granted, we were very quiet. That's just us. But I did feel better knowing that I had somebody there with me to play this game. I still had a couple of moments of like grogginess and like, whoop, what did I just do? I don't remember doing that. Luckily, I did have an energy drink during that portion and rebounded, I think, very, very well for the tail end. So happy about that. But once again, with the tail end, games went very well. It was another thing of presentation. Overwatch, I didn't talk too much. Fortnite was a little 50-50. Once again, I felt great that lady was there, and she was there helping me out and playing the game, obviously, with me. I just felt like I could have done better. So I think that's my biggest takeaway for the second half of Extra Life is I could have done better in terms of... Performing sounds weird, but that's the aspect I'm going to go with. In terms of performing, I could have done better. I think Overwatch went great. We had a lot of great players and good personalities in that, and I was able to kind of talk through my plans as deafened and muted in between plays. I think that was great. And we also included like the dead chat, so even if you were dead, you were able to interact with your other Ghost members, while previous years we did not do that. So having the big brain to figure that out and actually understand what to do, that was a good play instead of just sitting there in silence while the game was being played. So in terms of entertainment aspect, I think that is an aspect to improve. And exactly, Papa Griff, there's no fault in being tired. It's just I need to find a way not to manage the tiredness better, because I think ultimately, in the grand scheme of the 24 hours, everything went great. I stayed hydrated. I was eating a lot. Trust me, I was eating a lot. And we didn't have an energy drink or something of that matter until the tail end, and it was very effective. That's one of those games where, like, yes, energy drinks I know aren't something you should rely on per se, but in terms of something like this, if you do it too early, it's going to bite you in the ass. So I think that was a good way to bounce back for the end, because I felt great. Like, even packing up, even when we got home, I felt good. It wasn't until I sat down on the couch and melted into it that it was like, it's game over. I think you could ask Lady. I don't know if she's listening right now. But I sat down. We put something on TV. I picked up my Switch. I was going to chill, just going to play Pokemon. I looked at it for maybe 2 minutes, and I was like, I can't do this. And I just committed to falling asleep. So yeah, it wasn't until that point of sitting down that I was like, oh, okay, I've reached the end of the road of this journey. It's good. We're fine. But yeah, the energy drink definitely helped out later on. So yeah, it's just this weird, like, even regular stream, it's this weird mental hurdle and somewhere I need to improve in general of just a presentation, an entertainment, a performer aspect of, like, you're not talking. Maybe you should talk. And like I said, it's this weird mental game of, like, I don't want to be stupid and just be like, da, 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 like saying things for no reason, but I have to be engaging with people who are watching or people who aren't watching, because that's kind of the whole point of this streaming thing, to be interactive and an entertainment outlet for people. So just a criticism or a self-criticism for myself. Yes, while the tiredness was a factor, that is something I could have improved on. Yeah, it would be great if I had people as well, who did do those later portions. That'd be fantastic. But I could always ask, but I don't want to assume that is a portion I guess I can account for, because obviously that's very weird time slots for everybody. But yeah, I would be open to it, like we've talked about I think we talked about in last year's podcast, like doing shifts. Like we had, the LTS shift. We had Big John and Billy, myself, and Dio if he ever flew in. We had the cousin shift. We had Charlie, Steven, and Brendan. We had the Chaotic Ladies shift of Lady, Rainbow, Pancake, Like, if we had something like that, of course, that would be way more beneficial from an energy standpoint of, like, you have fresh groups coming in all the time. But I understand and take responsibility because, like, well, this is my event I'm throwing. I'm going to be around and I'm doing the whole thing. I can't, not that I can't rely on others, but I'm not, I don't know how to phrase it. I'm not expecting anyone else to do that, because I know that's not something they planned on doing, or like they didn't plan the event, or they didn't volunteer to do it. And that's, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess that's what the first 12 hours are there for, like just having friends over because it's fun in general. But that covers that basis. It's, once again, it's just something I want to improve for that second half. And yeah, I think a game choice, my game choices for this year, may have not been the best. I think I switched to Fall Guys during a little bit of the Elden Ring section just because I was getting a little frustrated with the boss. That was fun, especially with a new season literally just happening, not knowing any of the game modes. That was fun. So maybe switching it up to something a little bit more high paced, at least in terms of gameplay, where it's not more slow, methodical like a Kingdom Hearts of the previous year or Played Up of this year. I don't even remember what we played after the Sephiroth fight last year, but more upbeat games to kind of have me mentally stimulated to keep focus. And then, yeah, from a talking and presentation aspect, just something I could do more. How else do I think this year could have improved? We had a great turnout. To be honest, obviously with the donation numbers, that speaks volumes in itself. If we want to be statistical about this, so we had 126 unique viewers during that stream, which compared to our regular streams, fantastic. I think while we did less advertising and promotion, I think the promotion and advertising we did was more effective. Quickly did some videos for day before and day of, and put those out, and those seemed to get a bunch of traction. Put those out on all social platforms. Once again, the sticker giveaway was good. Talking to people IRL was great. As we had people from work show up, people from like family show up, friends show up, all good stuff there. So I think that was good. Maybe just me, I always want to produce it a little bit more and make it more professional. So obviously that means more time. That's just on me of like planning ahead and actually sitting down and doing it, which this year I did not. Yeah, I don't know. It was a great year. It was a great year all in all. Once again, having everybody back there, being actually in the room together was amazing. I want to try for future years to see if I can fix the camera setup a little bit. It's always been something where the people on the couch closer to the TV are cut off, and then usually people on the opposite side are cut off. So maybe doing a 2-camera setup or finding a way to kind of zoom out the camera or put it up in a higher, different area, whatever it is. That's something to play around with to improve. I think our overlays have gotten not better, but they're solid each year. We made a big leap a few years ago with me figuring stuff out. We had a moving background this year, which not a technical marvel, but still, everything looked very crisp and clean, which I appreciate. I can already think of some ways to take the current aspects of it and make it more effective and more efficient, where it's not all separate pieces but can still work the same. So that's good. Yeah. I can unequivocally say that my hype post both for you and Jeff results in 0. I'm sure people saw it. We saw some reactions for it. It's one of those things too, like, we could take this 2 roads, and I will admit, yesterday at work, I was taking the dark path of it because my mind goes that way sometimes when I just let it weave its web of thoughts. We can think about this 2 ways. We can be grateful about it, or we can be angry about it. We can always be angry about who didn't show up, who didn't donate, who didn't do X, Y, Z, whatever. That's not the right way to think about it. And I know it's easy to say it and not, like, it's easy to say and not perhaps that easy to follow it. But I'm trying to focus on the opposite side of the coin here. We did what we accomplished to do. We set a goal, we broke our goal, and we surpassed it. We had a lot of fun with the people who were there. But that's the thing. You don't give to expect to receive. I don't know if that even is phrasing is correct. Give because you want to give, not because you expect something in return. Is it frustrating when you don't get things in return? Yes. But that's not the right mentality, because then we're always going to be angry all the time. And that's something I am dealing with and have been dealing with for a while now, and am trying to improve myself with. It's not, once again, it's not easy, but I think that is where our focus should be. Once again, we achieved what we set out to do. We achieved our goal. We passed our goal. We're doing a second stream for it. And that's all we can do. We just move on to the next one. We focus on next year. Okay, how do we make next year better? Can we entice anybody more? I don't know how many times I can chop my hair and people are going to care. No, and Rainbow, I appreciate that, but and honestly, no. I'm not better than anybody, and oh boy, this podcast took a turn. Hi, welcome to... No, because once again, I'll admit it. Monday at work, I was the exact same mentality you guys are. How many people showed up or interacted with us that day? Okay, great. How many of those people donated? Less. Like, it's the, I don't know what the term is, that fraction thing. You get this, but then your return level is this. It's unfortunately, oh boy, we're going to get into business here. It's unfortunately any business thing. And I learned it from my initial job that was very, I don't know what the fucking terminology is, but it's like your return on investment. That's exactly what it is. You go and do an event. Okay, at that event, there's going to be 100 people. Okay, you're going to make an impression on 70 of that 100 people. Then you're going to physically talk and interact in some way to 40 of those people. From those 40 people, how many people are going to be coming to your place of business instead of there? Maybe 20. From that 20, how many people come back again? Okay, maybe 10. And then from that 10, how many stay on as a new customer? Maybe 2. Like, if we start breaking it down to, hey, you showed up in chat, but you didn't donate. Hey, you played this game, but you didn't donate. We all just get bitter. We all just, it's not, the energy is misplaced and not put in the right direction. And once again, I get it. It's definitely frustrating to know that somebody knows what you're doing, but they actively decide not to participate. However, I don't know everyone's situation. I don't know person's A situation from B situation. Maybe it's true. They show up, they don't care. That's one bracket. They show up, they can't afford it, they can't help out in that way. Okay, that's fine. They show up, they helped spread the word, but they couldn't donate. There's a lot of different factors. And it should be as simple as, the world doesn't work that way. It's not as simple as white and black, but let's not make this, like one side versus the other side. There's so many shades of gray and middle area of factors and everything like that. Like, we can't focus our energy there. All we can do is just move to the next one. And maybe it's as simple as me interacting with these individuals and explaining what it is a little bit more. Like, I can think of a few individuals right now who, granted, probably don't even really know what I do. It's just like, oh, he plays video games. Great. There's that level of understanding that people don't have of oh, you do this, you stream, oh, you do this content, and it goes out to these people, and then this charity goes to that. Like, it's that. And if it is just a matter of that, and that breaks down the walls and allows for them to come in and understand it more, great. Or it's just a myriad of factors. Who knows? No one will ever know. But like I said, there's two paths we can take on this, and it's either the path of we be angry, we focus on that stuff, and it just defeats the whole purpose of doing it, because then we're just like, oh, well, didn't get it enough, we didn't do our number. Like, look at last year's. We didn't even break $1,000 last year. We still raised $875 or something like that. That's still good. But if we're going to have that mentality of like, oh, this year shouldn't happen, there was no point, because we didn't keep going up, 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 up. Obviously, that's, a perfect ideal situation. That is what you want. But sometimes it doesn't happen. That's all it is. We just got to work towards the next one and see what we can do. But they're all very valid feelings. I'm just trying to, like I said, take that energy and put it in the right direction. Because I bet that, once again, that's a valid direction. But I feel if we go too far in that direction, it's doing more harm to ourselves than good. So, I don't know. As always, my phrasing is not the best. So yeah, moving forward, what can we improve? We talked about, the game schedule, maybe being a little bit more engaging there. I think we did a great job with obviously getting people back involved this year, physically in person. I think, not to toot my own horn, it was a fantastic idea to get people who can't be there live, get them involved in some way. Among Us was a fantastic idea. Once again, blowing smoke up my own ass. Interacting with all those guys, getting them involved. A lot of fun to reconnect, especially in a media like games, with those parties. Hope to do more with them and get more people involved, because I know some people schedules just didn't work out. That's an area we can improve in or just keep up with. Switching the schedule up a little bit would be great. I know Lady and I have talked about maybe doing different time slots, or instead of the 12 to 12, or doing, maybe it's getting to that point where 24 hours doesn't make sense. Maybe 2 12 hours. Maybe we pull a WrestleMania. We make it a 2-day event, kind of thing. Maybe that would be more beneficial to do energy-wise than one shot. Who knows? You inspired me and Nick to try our own Extra Life next year, not 24-hour, but definitely thinking a 12-hour stream. That's fantastic, and best of luck to you. And I mean, while Extra Life, like, their game days are the first weekend of November, I think it is, it's year round. You can do it whenever. We've talked about, I believe, even on this podcast, the last year's, like, a summer event, you can do it during the summer, you can do it in winter. It's 365. So if November is not a great time for you, do it whenever. I had a coworker ask me today, like, why did you pick that specific weekend, Thanksgiving weekend? I said, well, okay, early on when we first did it, it was two factors. It was, one, it's a holiday weekend. People are most likely going to be home so they can watch. And two, friends away at school usually don't have school during that time and are back home, so that's the time they can come over and hang out. So that was always my thinking. Could it be modified now? Perhaps, as we get older and more begrudging, It's a joke. Maybe we do a different, maybe we don't do Thanksgiving weekend, especially with, shopping and the holidays, especially around that time, like maybe funds are not as not disposable, but like you don't have that income to give. Maybe it would be more beneficial to do a different time. We talked about the summer because then we could do outside stuff. Who knows? Who knows? But awesome to hear that you are planning to do your own. That's great. So yeah, a lot of fun this year. I had a blast. It flew by like nobody's business. And genuinely, thinking back on it, I don't know why I'm tearing up. That's weird. Just having people back in the same room playing stuff together was awesome. And seeing the new faces get involved who were now local, seeing this sounds weird, old timers come back after a 2-year hiatus with with COVID and stuff. Oh, the algorithm. Like that was great. And I know it wasn't everybody, but hopefully next year is just more people and more insanity and more fun. I'm looking forward to the 10th, 12 hours. I don't know fully what to expect game-wise. I'd love to do another Among Us session, but I have to reach out to all those people. Lady and I need a redemption in Fortnite as we only got 1 second place but didn't win any. Maybe we'll do that again. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what is in store for that event. Not looking forward to losing my hair. I know there's a lot of people like, well, why'd you put your hair on the line? Because that's what people care about. I gotta play. This sounds bad in a way. I gotta play the game. People are investing in my hair. That's what I gotta put on the line. It will grow back. I have to just have faith in that. So, looking forward to the 10th, 12 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Enigma9011. Check it out there. 12 hours, raising money for Extra Life, Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, trying to reach $2,000 to go the Mr. Clean to get my head shaved. But honestly, anything we raise on top of what we already have is just icing on the cake. It helps out kids. It helps them out and their families in these tough situations. So whatever we can do to support, even if it may seem small, let's do that. Let's lend a hand. Let's help these guys out. And, selfishly, let's have some fun while doing it. So yeah, that'll happen then. I'm looking forward to this upcoming one. I'm looking forward to future ones down the road. And let's just keep pushing forward.